Welcome to the Business Air International Pre-Owned Aircraft Market Update for June 2010. My name is Oliver Stone, and this is just a quick look at the markets to give you some of the information you need to help make the decisions that impact you and your business. We divided all the airplanes up for this little stop here into large cabin, medium cabin, and small cabin aircraft. Looking at the large cabin to begin with, what we see here is a graph of the number of aircraft for sale, outlined in yellow, and the pricing, which is outlined in white. Goes from January 09 until June 2010, and the pricing you can see from a high of 20 down to 12 million, while inventory goes between 580 units down to about 490 as the low. What we're really seeing here, and the important aspect to look at, is this what's occurred here within the last month, since my last update here. What you will notice is a slight increase in prices and a rather significant increase in the amount of supply. For the sellers out there, this is a precarious trend, one that is only supported in the most robust of markets where demand far outpaces supply. I don't think we're there yet, so what will happen here will be an interesting occurrence over the next couple of months. Just a quick look here, this giant decline here in the number of aircraft for sale that occurred between September and January is driven largely by new airplanes, G550s, Global XRSs, G450s, that sort of vintage of technology. The price drops, however, while everybody experienced them, as an average, it's the older airplanes pulling them down. We are still seeing a remarkable number of price drops in older technology airplanes. G3s, G2s, Challenger 600s, all of those are experiencing these continued price declines. How does this affect the number of time, or the amount of time, it takes for your aircraft to sell? This is the average days on market of the large cabin airplanes. Right around 600 days now is what we're looking at. Again, driven largely by the older technology airplanes, which are still stagnating on the market and taking a very long time to sell. If you notice, this slope is not showing much signs of declining. I mean, we have a lot farther to go for the older inventory. In medium cabin aircraft, what we're looking at here is another graph of the number of airplanes for sale, again in yellow, and the pricing, which is again in white. Important differences here between this graph and the large cabin graph. You will notice that the inventory level here is still higher than we were back in January of 2009. What happened here in about the September time frame, about 100 or so airplanes, there's a net loss of 100 airplanes on the market. This was the best deals of the newer planes started trading. And then in about January of 2010, it leveled off. And you can see this leveling off right about here. We interpret this to mean that the best deals have gone, and the buyers out there are struggling to find a great deal of value in the medium cabin airplanes. What this will mean in the future is we believe that the price drops will continue until that value gets back into the marketplace. Also, older cabin airplanes, older technology airplanes are still driving prices down. Hawker 700s, Citation 3s, Lear 55s, they're all commanding price decreases, and time to sell is, as you can tell here, still increasing. That slope, that rate of decline hasn't occurred yet. We're still looking at 600 days on average for medium cabin planes. For newer technology, it's far shorter than this, provided your price is with the market. For older technology, there are still certain examples where this average is far higher than the 600 days here. How about the small planes? Well, this is the most different of all three markets. For sellers out there, it's also the most unforgiving at this point in time. What we're looking at here, again, the number of planes for sale in yellow, prices are in white. A high of inventory on the market occurred in about May of last year, 2009, of 1,280. Since that time, we've declined to about 1,230 units on the market. That's a decline of only 50 airplanes in a year. It's about 0.5% of the inventory has been taken out of the market. This is a sign that, again, demand is far beneath supply. We have a lot farther to go in terms of removing the number of planes on the market before we get back into a real equilibrium. Pricing again has continued to decline, driven largely again by the older technology airplanes. It so happens there's a lot more older technology small cabin planes than anything else. The segment's been around the longest. So what are we looking at here? A little robust trading of some of the newer airplanes, the newer technology, the Phenoms, the CJ3s, something along those lines. They're actually doing quite well, or at least they're trading, and airplanes come and go. The older planes, they're again stagnating, leading to aircraft days on the market of approaching 700 now. Again, that slope is showing no sign of reducing, or the slope is showing no sign of getting less. We still have a lot more inventory out there. It's going to take a lot more time. So what does this mean for you, who is the buyer or seller of airplanes? Well, for older technology stuff, if you are a buyer, really do your homework. There are still some great deals out there, and there are still a lot of motivated sellers who need to get rid of their airplanes, likely meaning a better deal for you. But caveat emptor in this one. Do your homework. There are maintenance gremlins within some of the older planes that can far outpace the cost of the aircraft. Make sure you and/or your representative does a lot of their homework and does it well. For the sellers out there, we are preaching to them to be as matter of fact as possible. Ignore the perceptions that you have of your aircraft's value. Trade strictly upon what has been occurring. Get information. Arm yourself with information. Have you or your representatives know what has sold and what the price that has sold for. This is what the market is actually doing. Keep that on your side and be very blunt to yourself about what the airplane is actually worth. For newer technology planes, if you're buying, you no longer call the shots. There has been a rather stabilized marketplace developing. You can no longer buy airplanes at deep discounts that you were. Sellers are starting to hold more firm. You may have to pay a higher price than you were expecting. For sellers of newer technology planes, make sure you don't get too greedy. Yes, airplanes and new technologies are selling, but they're selling for low prices. We have not yet seen a sustainable recovery and increased prices remaining in the marketplaces. Well, good luck for this month. Give us a call with any questions and let us know how we can help you buy or sell your aircraft. Again, my name is Oliver Stone. We'll see you next month.